Good morning, welcome to the channel. We are back with another episode. You'll remember in the previous video, we grouted all the tile. We did a large format tile in the bathroom area for the walls. This is a knee wall where a piece of glass is going to be sitting on, and then there'll be a 0 door entryway right here. And then we have a 2" by 2" mosaic tile for the shower pan, as well as I finished the grouting on the floor, which is a wood grain floor. So in today's episode, we're gonna prepare a few more things, paint the walls. I have to do the casing on the door here. We ended up moving the door over 6 inches so we could receive a full 38-inch wide shower tray just to maximize the shower space. So there is a little bit more of trim work now because of that. We're gonna focus on that and some paint, and then tomorrow we'll silicone, put the glass up, and hopefully be done. First things first is to paint this ceiling paint. Actually, for drying sake, before we go up and paint that ceiling, we have to prime this wall that I finished mudding the other day, and then we can prime it, paint up there. Hopefully by that time I can start painting the walls. I like taking my light and shining it across the plane. I'll finish that up and get the primer out. I do still have some primer left over from priming that bulkhead ceiling above the shower, so it should be enough to do this little patch. Alright, all this patchwork is now primed. I can go ahead and paint the shower ceiling. Before we paint that ceiling, actually, I'm going to go ahead and install a casing for the door. We're using PVC Trim. It's flat stock. It has a wood grain on one side, and then it's flat on the other side, or smooth on the other side. I went ahead and ripped it down to the size I needed, added a chamfer profile to the edge here, give it a bit of a definition so it doesn't look too much like a barn style. And we went with PVC because half of the door is, not half the door, but the left side of the casing will be halfway into the very moisture prone area of the shower. So this way we just cover our bases. We know it's not going to mold or rot or do anything weird. I'm actually going to glue it up on the floor using 2-part glue. The casing is in, cleans it up quite a bit. I can just pre-fill those holes with anything, and then we can paint that PVC as well. But I'm gonna have to sand this miter a little bit. It's not quite flush, so I'll have to wait to get my orbital sander to tackle that. You can see why down here it's awfully close to being inside the shower. And because we're doing no door here, there's a chance there's some splashback from the shower rain head up here. And now that that's done, we can carry on with painting the ceiling. Now that the casing is in and the primer is dry, I'm going to go around the tops of the baseboard with some caulking to cover up that black shadow gap that I'll show you here. If we just fill this gap with caulking, you won't see it as much. Because we used tile as our baseboard, we couldn't push it against the wall because it's so rigid, so we're left with a few more gaps than normal. After this is dry and I go ahead and paint this wall color, I'm going to put a piece of masking tape on the edge here to create a nice crisp line, and I might actually add a really thin layer of caulking too, because some of those gaps are a little big, so we're going to get some shrinkage once it dries out. I'm going to go around and do that everywhere, and then see how dry my ceiling is in primer. I've begun the first coat of paint. I've done everything except this little wall. It just has primer on it. And what I've done is lay down some frogs tape along the top side of my trim piece from the tile. Caulked it, as you remember. I'm going to cut this in first. We'll do that real quick. And then I'm going to grab my caulking again and do a really light coat on top of my tape. Then squeeze most of it out. And then I can go ahead and paint it lightly. Like that, and I can go ahead and pull that tape right away. That way it won't adhere to the tape itself and cause issues. And then I can roll it out. Done. First coat's done. That does it for this episode, and tomorrow we're gonna silicone and finish off everything. Thanks for watching.